Hey, thanks for joining our final session of the Retail 360 Summit. My name is Logan Mulvey. I'm the Chief Customer Officer here at Striver. This episode will be focused on how to get started with immersive learning. Through dozens of customer deployments, Striver literally wrote the book on how to select, create, deploy, and scale virtual reality training at the enterprise level. In this about 10-minute short session, I'm going to share with you some of the necessary components and what the steps are to get there. So at this point, you know about immersive learning and how it combines virtual reality with advanced learning theory, data science, spatial design, for the most absolutely engaging and effective training possible. All those things come together to make the training everything that you need it to be and more. We've also learned about the different use cases, how companies like Walmart use it to roll out their pickup tower training, or Verizon robbery training, where Verizon needed all the retail associates to understand what to do in a robbery scenario. But where do you start, right? It's a really big thing to get your arms around. And it's important to think strategically, like what is your key business objectives? What is your CEO thinking about, and how do they want to improve the business? Things like building a culture of safety, creating a consistent customer experience, or even standardizing operations. VR training works best when it impacts the large number of people at your organization, because that's how you get the most ROI, right? The more people that go through it, the more metrics you can see, you can start to understand why using VR training is so impactful and beneficial for you. So we recommend evaluating where you start by using these very simple three-tiered ROI model, right? So it should affect all three of these tiers as you're looking at ways to approach some of the problems or initiatives in your org. So does it impact your employees? Does it impact your business metrics? Or does it impact your culture? And thinking about if it's done right, here's what it might look like. Your employees are more confident, and the innovation that you're showing interest in will help build a bond with your employee, that you're investing in them and in their future, right? It could lead to really measurable outcomes like fewer incidences, cost savings, customer satisfaction, customer retention. And finally, I think you're gonna really reinforce a culture at your company of a consistent message at every location, and ensure that the brand experience is being shared in the right way. One of the big differences about working with Striver is that our solutions experts really dig in right along you to determine what kind of training is going to make the biggest impact on your business using those three tiers, right? So the solutions team is made up of instructional designers, immersive content specialists, VR experts, and super experienced project managers. And all of these folks are dedicated to helping you achieve your business objectives through immersive learning, through the Striver product. One of the best ways we tackle this is through instructional design for VR. We basically take your business objective, break it down into specific and measurable learning outcomes, and then use behavioral learning science to begin to develop a curriculum that will teach your associates the right things that can be measured and tie it back to your overarching goals. One of the best practices we found in curriculum design is to use spaced learning and a very specific cadence of test, then teach, then practice, then retest. Using those right intervals between training already helps you get a leg up on retention, and is one of the main factors of why VR training is so much more impactful. So from there, our instructional designers will work with our immersive content specialists, who are basically directors in virtual reality filming. They work together, they take the script, they take the curriculum design, and they're accountable for making it come to life in the headset, have the most immersion and the best experience. It's complex. It's like shooting a short film or a Super Bowl commercial. It's a ton of fun, and we provide the filmmakers, the actors, the post-production, the visual effects to execute the shoot. And of course, we bring you in along the way to be a part of the process, but our experts really bring it to life right there. So one of the last things I want to talk to you about today, and again, if you want to dive deeper, just let us know after the webinar and we can talk about anything that I've talked about before, but one of the most important things to think about is deployment and adoption. Distributed operations for retail companies make it really challenging to roll out VR, right? Some VR development, some content shop isn't going to have the ability to scale across thousands of locations, hundreds of locations, and provide that consistency and ensure that the software works and that the right content is on the right headset at the right time. You really need a partner that's enterprise ready. And Striver has been built for that since day one. It's in our DNA to plan and execute large-scale deployments with our customers. Everything from provisioning and fulfillment to shipping and everything in between. We have the experience to ensure that the software, content, and hardware are all set up properly to enable better learning across your entire workforce. One example of a large-scale rollout is with Walmart. We rolled out over 17,000 headsets across 4,500 locations, every Walmart store in America, which to date is the largest commercial VR deployment that's ever been done. And along the way, we came up with all the best practices for how to do it, what the shortfalls are. So we know how to do it, when to show up, and how to ensure that everybody has a headset in the right place at the right time. In fact, the Striver software platform helps us get your training experiences onto the headsets. As soon as they're set up at the locations, you can pretty much start training right away. We try to make it as effortless as possible for you, and our teams will work very closely throughout the entire deployment process. So now that the headsets are at all of your locations, it's all about adoption. And this is something we think about from the beginning. So what's the big objective that you want to meet? And then how do we back into that and ensure that everybody that has a headset in front of them understands how to do it? And it's not the same for every company, right? Some like to slot it in during onboarding, right? So they've made a new spot in onboarding all of their employees where immersive training is a part of what they do. Others have made it one-off if there's some large change management going on and they need to ensure that everybody knows about what the new process is and how it works. They'll make immersive learning part of that, and we'll have a training schedule. And every manager, every training manager will know when to go do the training and how to do it. And it can be facilitator-led or it can be self-led. The associate can go in the back, grab the headset, put it on. They know what they need to do, put it down, go back to work. And then as the manager, you'll get a note saying so-and-so went through the experience. So at Striver, we're really focused on helping you go far and wide with the training because we believe VR has the unique ability to influence behavior like no other. And we believe it's the future of work, and we know that we can help get you there. And we've built everything that we do based on a bedrock of science. We were incubated at Stanford, and we've learned about virtual interaction and how to make the most out of a virtual experience so that your associates feel like they've had all the right training, all the right experience to make the decisions that you need them to make to have a safer, more exciting, engaged workforce. And I spent a lot of time talking about our team, and that team helps guide you through all the necessary steps to immersive learning. But don't forget that Striver's solution also includes the software layer that ties it all together. We call it end-to-end solution, consisting of software and professional services to ensure that you are achieving both business objectives and learning outcomes at scale. Now that you have a better understanding of how immersive learning implementation works, definitely reach out and think about how this could impact your company. We're happy to help and talk through any ideas that you might have. And again, think about the objectives that your CEO and other executives are trying to push at the company, and how can immersive training, how can VR back into that and have real measurable ROI. We've got a ton of great results, case studies, things that we can share with you once we start chatting. And there's some blogs, ebooks, webinars, other things, real experts at the company. We have multiple PhDs thinking about this stuff all the time. And we're super passionate about helping people and ensuring enterprises have a scalable way to roll out to their entire organization. So thank you for joining, and hope you have a great day. And shoot us a note if you need anything.